call this meeting to order. Would you please stand with me and recite the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. There were a couple of changes to our agenda tonight, and Vicki Look is going to describe them to you.
I request that we add Resolution 1072-0814, and it is the resolution relating to the...
Oh, that, I think the volume on that is up.
It was too close. It was overlap.
It's just, volume is a little loud on that one, if there's a knob.
Okay.
On that one?
So adding Resolution 1072-0814, and it is the resolution relating to the Human Services Committee. That was approved to go on the consent agenda for this evening, and we mistakenly left it off. So I would ask that the agenda be amended to include that resolution on the consent agenda.
Okay, was there another one or just that one?
And so that's good with the commission. Okay, and the other is I would like to read a press release under commission reports when it comes time for that.
Oh, okay. Well, we are at commission reports now. Would you like to read it now?
Thank you. Okay, we had a little bit of communication from the Association of Washington Cities, and they sent us this information related to Commissioner of Finance and Accounting, Mike Olson, is awarded the Advanced Certificate of Municipal Leadership. So I would like to read a little press release that we're sending out. Commissioner of Finance and Accounting, Mike Olson, recently received a Certificate of Municipal Leadership from the Association of Washington Cities. Commissioner Olson completed over 30 hours of training credits to earn this distinction. The CML program is designed to enhance the ability of elected municipal officials by providing knowledge and skills to effectively operate within the law, plan for the future, secure and manage funds, and foster community and staff relationships. To earn this certificate, officials attend a variety of AWC-sponsored municipal workshops. The course helps the mayors, commissioners, and council members learn the essentials of municipal service and improve their ability to work with their colleagues, city staff, and citizens. Mike Olson has served the city of Shelton as the Commissioner of Finance and Accounting from January 1, 2012 to present. He serves on several local boards and committees and always welcomes the opportunity to hear from the public on matters concerning this community. AWC is a private, nonprofit, nonpartisan corporation that represents Washington cities and towns before the state legislature, the state executive branch, and with regulatory agencies. Membership is voluntary. However, AWC maintains 100% participation from Washington's 281 cities and towns. The goal of AWC is to create and maintain livable cities and towns throughout our state. So congratulations, Mike.
Right.
Good job.
Thanks.
Dedication.
Speech. Did you have anything to say?
No, I don't really have anything to say. It was fun getting it. It didn't hurt a bit.
All right. On the Human Services resolution, did we want to do that after our commission reports or?
It's on the consent agenda.
On the consent agenda. Okay, I'm sorry, I missed that. Okay, very good. All right, next is our commission reports. Commissioner Moore.
Okay, well, congratulations, Commissioner Olson. You're so modest. I have, this week on Friday, I will be attending an EDC luncheon, and I will also Friday evening be attending a Forterra open house. And that's it.
Commissioner Olson.
Tomorrow I have the law enforcement firefighters meeting. I also will be at the Friday Forterra event. I think that's a barbecue thing or something, isn't it? And that's all the meetings I have, but then I had a couple other things I wanted to comment on. I guess as long as I'm getting some accolades, I would add one more to it. One of the committees I'm on is the Memorial Hall Veterans Committee, and we recently voted, the county owns the building, we recently voted to have that re-roofed. It was in need of a new roof, and so I have a lot of passion for historic preservation, so I offered free of charge to reinstall the old-fashioned eyebrow vents on the roof up there to bring it back to its historical original look. So if everybody gets a chance to drive by, it really looks good. So I wanted to just announce that. It's in the historic district, so I have a lot of passion on that. The other thing I wanted to mention was I received some emails from Dave, and John Osga and Greg were all involved in it, and it had to do with our biosolid situation. And the reason I wanted to talk about it was because it's like one of those little hidden gems of our wastewater treatment plant that only a few people anticipated, and John Osga was one of them, in that there's been a Department of Ecology situation arising that a plant in Centralia may no longer be able to accept sludge, which we, because of John Osga's insistence evidently in the planning stages, that because we have these dryers here, that we take care of our own sludge and make a Class 8 fertilizer, where a lot of other wastewater treatment plants don't, and so they have to send it off to a place to have it treated and then sprayed on a field. Well, they may be out of luck on some of those things. They may be shutting them down, and then the next option is to haul it to Yakima. And Gig Harbor is looking at that possibility at a cost of $250,000 a year. So because of the dedication of Public Works and the past administration, and John Osga especially, that insisted on having this dryer facility placed in our wastewater treatment plant, we've dodged a huge bullet on that forward thinking by a public servant is possibly really given us a benefit that nobody knew about or had planned on. So I just wanted to get that out there in public to give John an attaboy and the staff and everybody who certainly did that before I got here. So it was a huge deal, and it could be a potential huge budget impact saver for us. So that's my comments on that. Thanks.
All right, very good. I will have a MACECOM meeting on Wednesday, and EDC, I'm planning to attend the Economic Development Council lunch. And then I had not heard about the Forterra open house on Friday night, but I imagine someplace in my hard drive it exists. So especially seeing how it has something called barbecue with it, I will search my files and see if I can attend that one also, being a supporter of the Forterra movement. So that concludes our commission reports. Next is an opportunity for general public comment. If anybody would like to speak, they need to sign in. Seeing no one signed in at this time, we will move forward into the consent agenda portion of our program, and have my fellow commissioners had ample time to review the material in your consent agenda. And are we ready? Could we please have a reading of the consent agenda?
Consent agenda, vouchers numbered 83862 through 83947 in the amount of $308,155.26. Commission meeting minutes from business meeting of July 21st, 2014. Study session of July 28th, 2014. Resolution number 1078-0814, a resolution of the City of Shelton, Mason County, Washington, designating an American with Disabilities Act coordinator and adopting a policy and notice regarding the ADA. Resolution number 1072-0814, a resolution of the City of Shelton, Mason County, Washington, to establish Advisory Citizens Committee on Human Services.
Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I move we approve the consent agenda.
I second that motion.
There's a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The agenda passes. There's an item under old business before us this evening, and it appears that we are going to be briefed on this. It looks like a replacement of a water main, and our Public Works Director, Greg Clark, is going to revisit this issue with us.
Evening, Commissioners, Mayor. This we did look at last week, but there was a question as to its location. What this is a project our crews will be doing to replace a water line starting at 2nd and Grandview and then going south and connecting a loop. There was a map attached in the packet this week. I can talk to that in a minute, but what this really is to purchase the materials so that the crews can install this line. It's about 700 feet of an 8-inch water line they'll be replacing, or not, we'll be adding, and because of the dollar threshold, we needed to bring it before the commission for approval to award we went out and secured bids from 3 vendors, and H.D. Fowler was low bid at $19,820. And of course the money has been currently and is in the budget for this year. So it's all good to go, but there was a question as to the exact location. The map that was in your packet, hopefully it was self-explanatory, but the water line actually will start at 2nd and Grandview and then go south to Satsop. Adding this water main does a large thing for us in that this existing asbestos concrete water main, the 12-inch, should that, and it has in the past had some problems, and it should start leaking where we have to shut it down. The alternate flow of the water into this whole Angleside area is all through a bunch of little 6-inch mains, and so there's some real fire flow secure issues associated with not having a larger line feeding this. So by adding this 700 feet of line, we'll be able to feed the whole easterly side of the Angleside zone a lot better. And so it's just a good project to take on and do. The crews will be able to complete it this summer, and we'll have a new water line.
All right, questions or comments for Mr. Clark?
I was the one who asked. I was just kind of curious where it was going. I had no problems with it. In fact, with the latest news of last week that they had in L.A., it's even a better reason to be doing things like this, where you get 100-year-old water mains that you don't know what they're going to do. So,
well, another kudo for your question, Commissioner, was the fact that when we started looking at this further, we realized that by adding a new section of main in our new Lake Boulevard project, we also will create a better path for the water to, so, you know, redundancy in a water system is what you need, because if you have a main break, you need to be able to close off that part of the main, and everybody still needs to be able to get water.
Right.
So you reroute it around, and some of these supply lines that are needed to get the big chunk of water over there, those are the ones that you want to make sure you
yeah,
take
Mike
care
had
of.
traced out that pathway for me, and it was pretty crazy the way they had to reroute it if we didn't do this. So makes a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm.
Any other questions or comments?
No, I think we've covered it.
This is an action item, and if there's anyone from the public that wants to comment, we have that available now. If we don't, then we will move forward. So seeing no one has signed in, I believe we all concur that this motion is something that should pass. So do we need a motion at this time? Action? Yeah. So is there a motion to approve this water main extension?
I move that we approve the award of material purchases and the extension of the water main.
I would second that.
There's a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? The motion passes. There is no new business at this time, but our next item is an administration report from our city administrator.
Okay. We just want to report to you on the police chief recruitment process. We received 40 applications At this point, we have narrowed the field potentially to 5 with 1 alternate and maybe more if we need to. I've evaluated them, our search firm has evaluated them, have some really good candidates, which is what we were hoping for, of course. I have more information next week when we confirm that they will be candidates. Sometimes so we're not ready to announce names until we have a few more things, but the names are confidential until you get to the point where you're going to get into the finalists, and those are the ones that are public record information. It's our intention to do the interview process on August the 27th. We're planning a public reception for the candidates on August the 26th at the Colonial House. We're also forming some committees that will interview our candidates as well. So we're going to try to get citizens and police department representatives, the city commissioners, and department heads who will we're putting them on to interview committees to help us evaluate the candidates. And then would hope by the end of that week or the first of the next week to either have 2 finalists or actually have a finalist that is good for us. So that's what we have at this point. I have answered any questions if you like, but we've been able to move ahead with that. So.
I was at neighborhood block watch thing the other night, and Casey Salisbury was there, and he, through the grapevine, was very complimentary to the people that he's aware of that had applied, and was really excited about the quality of the applicants that we were receiving. So I think that's good news. So I'm anxious to meet the applicants.
Yeah. Really, really good people. I'm really impressed with who we were able to. Part of the problem for me was, who do you not put in the finalists? Because you got to narrow it down to a certain extent. So, very highly qualified people. The second thing I wanted to report on was the retreat. I think I may have gotten the date wrong when I talked to you about it. The retreat date should be on Tuesday the 19th rather than Tuesday the 18th.
Oh, that Tuesday's not the right one.
Yeah, so at any rate, so I just make sure we're okay on that, because Mike and I talked about it, and I think I might have told you the 18th, and it should have been the 19th. So, and make sure that you can be there. Pardon?
August?
August, yeah. Yeah, just in a couple of weeks.
Okay.
So that's our budget retreat. It's my intentions to change some things within the budget process now. And really, before we do anything, and by way of announcing intentions, or we want to get feedback from you, the commissioners, as to what your ideas are regarding budget. And I think that by doing that, we'll be able to integrate those ideas into the budget proposals. And we haven't done it that way in the past, and I think that's a good approach. We're also going to, I don't know whether we can actually do anything to enhance the budgets. The last projections we did didn't look very good. But I think we still need to find out what department heads and you are identifying as the needs, and then we'll be doing our projections as we go through this and account for that after we get everything on the table. Another thing is that we want to do, and this is slightly different, what we've done before is really not try to make any decisions at all until we decided what was funded and what was not funded. What I'm hoping that we can do this time is take the requests, or take whatever the proposals are, and evaluate them relative to one another. So because what budget setting is all about anyway is priorities, and so let's not tell somebody no. Let's just decide on the priorities, and then let the math determine at what level, what projects we're able to do. So anyhow, I've got more on that that's coming, and it's a different process. There's some other reforms, and I'll cover that as we work into it. But I think you'll like what we're doing. I think when everybody gets a chance to think about it, there's something in it for them too, with the department heads and others. So anyhow, that's my report for tonight.
All right. Thank you very much, Dave O'Leary. And we have also the other opportunity here for general public comment. Anybody like to speak? This is your second and final opportunity in this meeting. Seeing nobody signed in, are there any administration final touches?
We do have the zoning change that we were talking about for First Street that Steve held some public meetings on a few months ago is ripe, and he'll be bringing that forward with a staff report next week. And then the result of that is he's going to ask you to set a public hearing date based on what he had presented. He thought, and I think he's right, that assuming that if you announce these things with sufficient detail ahead of time of holding the public hearing, you have a better chance of getting people that come to your public hearing and being stakeholders in it. Whereas if you announce it at the public hearing, you have fewer people. So what he's intending to do is a fairly robust staff report next week so people know what's coming. And they'll have a chance to get ready for it and study it before they come and make comments at the hearing. So I kind of like that idea. But anyway, that's what's coming, and he'll have more detail next week. So that's any other touches?
I will tag on to what the issue is on First Street there and zone change and whatnot. I was quite excited, actually thrilled to see some old cars parked inside the Mel Chev building there, and it just represents, okay, something's happening, and so anyway, it would be exciting to see that building be put to use. So,
well, among the things that are in that is to make automotive type businesses a permitted use in that area, because right now, Mel Chevrolet exists as a grandfather right. So one of the main reasons for doing this is to remedy that so that they can feel comfortable, so that they're as a permitted use as opposed to a non-conforming use. Also, there are some technical changes that they're going to talk about next week as well that I don't think are going to be controversial, but I'll let you judge that.
all right, thank you very much. Any other comments or questions? Our next meeting will be August 11th at 2 p.m. in the afternoon. This meeting is adjourned.